understand why people are bashing the Ranger for what you just saw. Hey, why is the Ranger loud? The Ranger was struggling, and all the mighty Highlights were not struggling. They performed at ease. I personally don't think that the Ranger was struggling. The reason I say that is because people are saying it was loud. The reason why I said it wasn't struggling because when I look at the momentum that all these buckies were moving at, I don't think that the Ranger was at a slower pace than all the buckies that came after it. And even if that is the case, and we can take a real look into the video and prove that no, the momentum of the Ranger was slower compared to the other vehicles. Okay, fine, I can justify that by saying that the Ranger is the first vehicle in line. So it launched up the hill. Obviously, it was fighting traction as it was going up because it was the first one to go. And all the other buckies that came after it had a longer stretch, meaning they had enough stretch to build up momentum to go up. So the Ranger being loud was because obviously it was at a high RPM. So a vehicle at high RPM makes more noise. On top of it making more noise is the fact that the Ranger, in its nature, is a performance bucket. It's a petrol V6 with a performance exhaust on it. The car is just meant to be loud. That's just how it was made. Also, a diesel engine and a petrol engine will not sound the same, even at high RPMs going up a hill. So it's loud because it's meant to be loud, right? It's a petrol V6 with a performance exhaust on it, hence the loudness. With all that being said, we still have to acknowledge the fact that these buckies do not weigh the same weight. And how light a bucky is, how heavy the bucky is, will affect how it does on these challenges. I think the Ranger did exceptionally well, given the fact that it was the first one to go, so it launched from a shorter distance. It has to fight traction because they're on sand to go up the slopes. So don't tell me about it being loud. I already explained. The other cars had an advantage because they had a longer run. So they had more momentum by the time they reached the hill. And again, the pace of all these buckies, they just look almost similar to me. If there's a difference, I don't think there's that big of a difference. So I think the Ranger did good. And another important factor to look into is, once again, petrol engines and diesel engines do not deliver torque the same. Like I said, I feel like the Ranger did good. People are just bashing it for no reason. You just like Toyota more than you like Ford. Every time something happens that sort of simulates a competition between the vehicles, you're always going to find ways to justify why you think that this one is trash and that one is better. In this situation, I don't think it's necessary. They all did well. None of them did bad, in my view. And again, you have to look at each and every circumstances before you can just conclude that this is what happened because the cars work. Also, these vehicles don't have the same tires, so the traction on these vehicles will not be the same. I'm getting technical because I have to. If you don't get what I'm saying, if the video is not of good quality, I'm in the car outside, there's no electricity, so I'm just charging the phone via my car, and I just came across this video as I was scrolling on TikTok, and I decided to make a video to it. So stay tuned for more car related content, helpful information, and just fun banter.